For millions of years, giant pythons have ruled the jungles as silent masters of ambush, feared for their crushing coils and jaws that can swallow prey whole. Yet today, these very predators have been transformed into the foundation of a billion-dollar global industry. What if I told you that around 3 million pythons are raised, harvested, and processed every single year? Not in the wild, but in carefully designed farms across Asia and Africa. And what if I told you that their skins can fetch prices higher than gold, becoming the raw material for the world's most luxurious fashion houses? From high-end handbags that can sell for over $100,000 to traditional medicine made from python fat, every part of this reptile has found its place in the modern economy. But how exactly do humans take one of nature's most feared predators and turn it into a global luxury product? Today we're pulling back the curtain on the incredible journey of the python, from its humble beginnings as a fragile egg to its transformation into one of the most sought-after symbols of wealth and status. Stay tuned, because what you're about to discover will completely change the way you see this legendary reptile. Long before humans ever dreamed of turning them into a luxury commodity, pythons ruled their ecosystems as apex predators. Some species can grow to lengths exceeding 6 meters, nearly the height of a 2-story building, and weigh over 100 pounds. With muscles that act like living steel cables, a single constricting squeeze is often enough to end a struggle in seconds. Their hunting strategy is as silent as it is deadly. Pythons don't rely on venom. Instead, they ambush with astonishing precision, striking in less than a fraction of a second. Once they lock onto prey, every shallow breath the victim takes only tightens the coils further, until bones snap, lungs collapse, and life slips away. And their power doesn't stop there. Pythons possess an extraordinary ability to unhinge their jaws, allowing them to swallow animals several times larger than their own head. Imagine a predator capable of devouring everything from rats and wild boars to young crocodiles. That's the python. But perhaps the most fascinating and terrifying a trait is their reproduction. A single female python can lay anywhere from 30 to 80 eggs at once, and exceptionally large ones may produce more than 100. Combine this with their resilience and adaptability, and it's easy to see why wild python populations are estimated to exceed 20 million worldwide. For millions of years, this incredible reproductive power made them unstoppable forces in the wild, regulating animal populations and maintaining the balance of entire ecosystems. Without them, rodent populations would explode, causing devastating consequences for both wildlife and humans. Yet despite their dominance, humans have never been content to live in fear of these creatures. Instead, we found a way not only to survive alongside them, but to harness their unique biology and transform them into a resource of staggering economic value. And that transformation begins in a place you might not expect. Modern python farms, designed to raise one of the world's deadliest reptiles under controlled conditions. For centuries, humans viewed pythons only as dangerous beasts to be feared or hunted. But in recent decades, a dramatic shift has taken place. Out of the more than 40 python species on Earth, only 2, the Burmese python and the reticulated python, have been successfully domesticated. These giants, once symbols of primal danger, are now the backbone of a billion-dollar industry. The change began in Southeast Asia, where demand for exotic meat, traditional medicine, and luxury fashion fueled the rise of modern python farming. Today, more than 20 countries participate in this trade, with Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and several African nations leading the way. Yet it is China that stands at the center of the global python industry, home to thousands of specialized farms and processing facilities concentrated in its southern provinces. These farms are nothing like the chaotic wilderness where pythons once thrived. Instead, they are carefully designed environments where temperature, humidity, and feeding cycles are meticulously controlled. Handlers monitor the reptiles with precision, ensuring not only rapid growth but also the highest quality skins for the luxury market. The economic impact is staggering. Rural communities that once struggled with poverty now rely heavily on python farming as a stable source of income. A single farm can raise thousands of snakes annually, creating jobs for breeders, handlers, processors, and leather artisans. And unlike traditional livestock such as cattle or pigs, pythons consume far less feed relative to their body mass, making them a surprisingly efficient resource. But python farming is not without controversy. Conservationists and animal rights groups often debate whether large-scale breeding is truly sustainable, or if it fuels the illegal capture of wild snakes. Supporters argue that regulated farms reduce poaching by meeting demand legally, while critics warn that the lure of profit could encourage exploitation. Regardless of the debate, one fact is clear. Humans have turned a creature once feared as a jungle nightmare into an economic powerhouse. And the story only becomes more astonishing when we look at the life cycle of a python in captivity, a process that transforms a fragile egg into a reptile worth thousands of dollars on the global market. Despite their fearsome reputation, every python begins life in the humblest way possible, inside a small, leathery egg. On farms, this stage is carefully controlled. Between April and August, female pythons are placed in climate-regulated enclosures that mimic the wild, encouraging them to lay their clutches. A mother python may produce 20 to 80 eggs, with exceptionally large females laying more than 100. Protective and aggressive, she coils tightly around them, forcing farmers to act quickly, usually within the first 2 hours, to safely collect the eggs while minimizing her stress. The eggs are incubated in trays of moist vermiculite or sawdust, kept at about 30 degrees Celsius with 85% humidity. Unlike some reptiles, python gender is determined at fertilization, not by incubation temperature. After 60 days, hatchlings emerge. Farmers often assist by gently cutting the shells, ensuring a uniform hatching rate. For their first week, the young snakes survive on their yolk sac, but soon they begin feeding on small prey like mice and chicks. Their growth is astonishing. Within just 2 to 3 months, they reach commercial size, ready for the fattening stage. At this point, farms focus on maximizing both meat yield and skin quality. Enclosures remain warm and humid, and feedings occur every 7 to 14 days, with meals equal to about 10% of the snake's body weight. Special feeding tools are used. Even a small mistake could cost a handler a serious injury. By the age of 2 to 3 years, pythons typically measure between 3 and 5 meters and weigh up to 20 kilograms. At this stage, they are considered fully grown and ready for harvest. From a fragile egg to a massive reptile valued worldwide, the captive life cycle of a python is a testament to both nature's resilience and human ingenuity in turning danger into opportunity. After 2 to 3 years of careful raising, the moment arrives that farmers have been waiting for: the harvest. For many, this is the most dangerous phase of the entire python industry. Despite generations of domestication, these reptiles remain unpredictable and incredibly strong. The first step is immobilization. To ensure safety, handlers typically use a swift, humane method, often a strike with a rubber mallet or a specialized stun tool, to prevent violent reflexes. This is crucial because even after being stunned, a python's nervous system can trigger powerful muscle contractions for several minutes. A careless move here could mean serious injury, or worse. Once motionless, the processing begins. Workers make a precise incision from the underside of the jaw down to the tip of the tail. At first glance, the lack of heavy bleeding may seem surprising, but this is due to the reptile's unique circulatory system, which responds differently from that of mammals. Next comes a delicate yet vital step: separating the valuable skin from the flesh. To make the process smoother, clean water is gently pumped beneath the skin at low pressure, loosening it from the muscle. The python is then suspended vertically, allowing gravity to aid in the gradual peeling of the skin. Each centimeter is handled with extreme care, because even the smallest tear or scratch can reduce its market value by hundreds of dollars. After the skin is removed, attention turns to the meat. Python meat is firm, pale and high in protein while being relatively low in fat. Its flavor is often described as a cross between chicken and fish, making it a delicacy in parts of Southeast Asia and beyond. Prices typically range from $10 to $20 per kilogram, but in countries where python is rare, the value can climb much higher. The final byproduct is the fat, collected in soft, slippery lumps. Unlike mammalian fat, python fat is prized in traditional medicine, often processed into oils, balms, and creams believed to treat burns, joint pain, and skin conditions. What was once a deadly predator in the wild has now become a valuable resource, with nearly every part of its body contributing to human needs. But the story doesn't end here, because while the meat and fat are important, the crown jewel and the true driver of this billion-dollar industry lies in the skin. While python meat and fat hold cultural and medicinal value, it's the skin that has truly elevated these reptiles into icons of wealth and luxury. Freshly removed, python skin is fragile and highly prone to decay, so the preservation process must begin immediately. The first step is salting. Workers cover the skin in thick layers of salt, up to 3 centimeters deep, for 24 to 48 hours. This ancient method draws out moisture, eliminates odors, and prevents bacterial growth. Once rinsed, the skins move on to tanning, the most critical stage of all. In large industrial drums, the skins are soaked in tanning agents such as chromium sulfate or plant-based alternatives. Over 6 to 8 hours, these chemicals penetrate deep into the collagen fibers, transforming the skin into a durable, supple material that can last for decades. This process doesn't just preserve the skin, it enhances its natural flexibility, softness, and strength, making it irresistible to luxury designers. But the magic doesn't stop there. After tanning, the skins are dyed. Some are given bold, fashionable colors, while others retain their natural tones, highly prized for their unique, unrepeatable scale patterns. No two python skins are ever identical, which is why a handbag or pair of shoes made from genuine python leather is considered one of a kind. For high-end clients, the finishing touches are done entirely by hand. Skilled artisans use fine brushes to apply dyes directly onto each scale, creating stunning gradients and enhancing natural patterns. This meticulous craftsmanship transforms raw python hides into works of art. Polishing wheels, spinning at over 1,500 revolutions per minute, then buff the leather, bringing out a glossy, vibrant finish that synthetic imitations simply cannot match. The result is breathtaking. Premium skins, flawless and stretching over 3 meters, can sell for as much as $500 per square meter. Once transformed into luxury handbags, wallets, shoes, or watch straps, these products can reach prices well into the tens of thousands of dollars. From a deadly predator of the jungle to a shimmering symbol of sophistication, python skin has become the crown jewel of the reptile trade. Proof that in the world of luxury, nature's beauty is the ultimate currency. Once processed and polished, python skins embark on the final leg of their journey, from rural farms to the fashion capitals of the world. Before export, each skin undergoes strict quality inspections, ensuring flawless texture, color stability, and durability. Grading systems classify them from premium, near-perfect hides to lower tiers used for smaller accessories. But legality is just as important as quality. International trade in exotic leathers is tightly regulated under CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. Each shipment requires permits that guarantee the skins were sourced responsibly and not from endangered wild populations. From climate-controlled warehouses in Asia, these prized skins are shipped to luxury hubs like Milan, Paris, New York, and Tokyo. There, master artisans transform them into handbags, shoes, belts, and watch straps for some of the world's wealthiest clients. The difference in value is staggering. A skin that may have cost a few $100s at a farm can become a finished product worth tens of thousands once it carries the logo of a brand like Hermes or Gucci. In the luxury market, the python scales have become more than leather. They are a global status symbol. From feared jungle predator to centerpiece of the global luxury trade, the story of the python is nothing short of extraordinary. What was once a symbol of danger is now a resource that sustains rural economies, fuels billion-dollar fashion houses, and fascinates the world with its blend of nature and craftsmanship. But this transformation also raises important questions. Is python farming truly sustainable? Or does the growing demand risk driving exploitation? And how far are we, as consumers, willing to go in turning wild creatures into luxury goods? One thing is certain, whether admired for their raw power in the wild or coveted for their dazzling skins in high-end boutiques, pythons remain among the most remarkable animals on Earth. Their story reminds us of humanity's ability to reshape nature, for better or worse. So, what do you think? Are python farms a necessary solution to meet demand? Or should these reptiles remain in the wild where they belong? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of pythons, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more incredible stories where nature and human ingenuity collide.